At Subway, start your day the flavorful way by adding new guacamole to your favorite breakfast sandwich. Perfectly made with a hint of jalapeno, our guacamole turns up the flavor to your breakfast. Try it today on a hot and toasty egg, white, and cheese. Subway, eat fresh.
The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The B.S. Report. The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report, taping this on a Monday morning, Southern California time. If you missed it, we did a 2-hour Grantland Live after Breaking Bad ended last night as the Pats-Falcons game was going on with Rembert Brown, Dave Jacoby, and Chris Ryan. And we had some technical difficulties, to say the least, but we persevered, and you can hear that as a 2-hour podcast on your BS Report feed. But now, as always, we're going to guess the line with our friend Cousin Sal. Cousin Sal, you did not die during the end of Breaking Bad last night. Congratulations.
What? Don't ruin it for me. I still have a T-vote.
What do you think? Actually, no. Let's save Breaking Bad for the end. Let's talk football, and then we'll save Breaking Bad for the tail end. But you went to the Cowboys-Chargers game, which figured its own kind of death.
I did. I urged everyone to bet the Chargers. Not that it matters if I'm there, but it's really nice to see them blow a double-digit lead in person. It's so much different. It's like, when they say hockey's so much better in person, this is 40% more exhilarating, I would say. I hate them. I really just hate this thing.
I picked the Chargers for two reasons, one of which was that you were going to the game. Right. I'm not even kidding. I was like, there's no way the Cowboys can win if Sal's going. I feel like you might have swung the game.
Right. What was the other reason? That was it?
I like the Chargers. I think they're pretty good. I think they're confident.
I think they are too. I don't. It is weird when you see like Danny Woodhead just goes through like 3 drives where he's unstoppable. It's like, all right, that's the guy who should get the ball all the time, but then he'll be gone for 2 quarters. But
well, the other thing is, Gates isn't Gates of 2006 anymore, but he's certainly the best he's looked in a couple years, and Rivers really looks good, and Wisenhunt clearly had a major impact on him. I thought Rivers was great in that game.
They're good, yeah. Obviously, I mean, over 400 yards, and now the Cowboys play the Broncos, so that's pretty bad. But and I have to say, the crowd. We stayed in the hotel about 2 miles from the stadium, and it was all Cowboys. It was like if Dallas picked up and moved there. So, but even 70% San Diego fans. Still louder than any Dallas crowd I've ever heard.
Wow. Just
really, really good crowd.
It's a good sign for their NFL hopes, keeping that team.
Yeah. I will say this. Don't ever I wrote about this in the run and shoot around, but I was online trying to get tickets over the computer, and I came across like 2 seats 5 rows back. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a great deal. It was and then you get there, and it's awful. Don't ever get seats, at least in Qualcomm, that close, because you have to, first of all, you have to overlook the 53 men in front of you and 30 security guards and 3 giant mist machines that make mist, and then 4 jib cabs and like these security guards staring you down. Like, it's almost impossible to see. So that added to the delight of my trip.
So it's almost like the NBA is a similar situation where they have these seats that are like in row 3, row 4. Yeah. But it's actually like it's behind the court side where everybody's walking back and forth. So you're just basically, you have these awesome seats right near the court, but people are just walking in front of you the entire game, and you can't see anything.
And then like the four rows in front of me are standing up because you had to see. And then, but God forbid you join them. Then you have the gangbangers behind you screaming at you to sit down. So it's really it's a no. I got the seats. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be like Spike Lee. I'm in the 5th row here. I'm, but not the same with football.
Well, here's what you missed, because I know you went to the game. You missed the Browns. Brian Hoyer looked very competent. He out Andy Dalton. The Browns defense looked good. Only gave up 6 points. They have a chance to be 3-2 on Thursday night. Suddenly our overbet for the Browns not looking that terrible.
And we've said this for years. Anyone who listens to us says it. Like, if you're in a little rut, trade your best player and start your 3rd string quarterback, and it will turn everything around. I mean,
we've learned our lesson.
It can't miss. I did see the first half of that game, and I was following the second half on my phone. And I know it's a small sample, but Brian Hoyer his goal line passes are as good as anyone else's. And maybe this Jordan Cameron, I want to call him Cameron Jordan every time, is just helps things out. But, God, he is pretty precise at the goal line.
And Lombardi, on this podcast, multiple years was calling for teams to trade for Brian Hoyer. It's pretty interesting. He ended up with them.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I guess he was serious on the podcast about this. But
now he's got to trade him away. The guy's doing too well. Get rid of him.
I mean, it's only been 2 games. Maybe he's doing some stuff that the league will figure out. But when you watch him, he certainly doesn't seem any different than Andy Dalton or Matt Schaub.
Absolutely.
The Lions offense looked fantastic. When they have Reggie Bush healthy, it's a top 5 offense. And I'm not sure the Bears, you always think of the Bears having a good defense, and Mays has been saying this for a while. It's possible the Bears just might not have a good defense.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you with the Lions. And Reggie Bush, I think they have everything in that team except someone who could run the clock out. Like, as good as Reggie Bush is, I still worry that they don't run the clock out. I think the Bears scored 2 touchdowns with 2-point conversions in the fourth quarter.
Right.
If they weren't up by 20, it would have been a problem. But
it's a good problem to have.
Yep.
We could cross off the Giants and the Steelers, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the funny thing is the Giants are a game out.
Right.
But I still think they're a cross-off, and the Steelers are a cross-off. Bucks are a cross-off. The Jaguars are maybe the all-time cross-off. I don't know whether the Colts are good or not. It seems like they caught the Niners on a weird weekend, played great. They took care of business against the Jags. They might be good. But, they're doing what they need to do. But I don't know if I believe in them yet. I want to see them play one good team in a home game where they're favored by like 3.5, and let's see how they do in that game. Actually, coincidentally, they have it this week against the Seahawks.
Yeah, and I'd be impressed with Indy if they kept this even close. I don't expect them to win at all. And
if they either beat Seattle or come damn close and hang in that game and go toe-to-toe with them,
right,
then I think we have to look at them very seriously. The Texans, it's too early to write teams off. It's only week 4. Matt Schaub really is shaky. He's just really shaky. I don't trust him. I haven't trusted him for a couple years, and it's now reached the point where the Houston fans are burning his jersey in the parking lot after the game. That's not good.
We've talked to say this all, and I try to avoid just getting all over a quarterback or a coach, because it seems like that's the thing everyone does. But yesterday, I think there were 2, maybe 3 games where coaches lost the game, and that Kubiak, I thought, was one of them. I mean, Foster's pounding the ball for 4 or 5 yards of carry, and it's not even a safe throw, like a safe play-action pass rollout throw that Sherman throws, runs the pick 6 back. So I blame him for that. And Schiano, same thing. Glennon threw like 43 times, and Palmer, who spent the whole game coming back, threw like 38 times. Like, how do you?
Yeah.
What are you doing to that kid? I mean, Tampa should have won, and of course, my coach Garrett, horrible decision making all the way through. So he's always up there. But
and then last night, the Falcons and the Pats.
Yeah.
Which I still need to actually watch this game because we were doing the live stream as it was on. But I'm not ready to write off the Falcons yet. I think they're banged up. It's early in the season. The Pats 4-0 is better than anybody could have expected. The Wilfork news is devastating and could not have been a worse way to wake up this morning.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
He's easily our best defensive player and one of the great all-time Patriots. And, the Pats have lost guys before. Every team loses guys, but this was probably in the top 3 guys we don't want to lose.
And it's tough because your defense, I think, was underrated this whole year. Everyone's talking about Brady getting it together with these rookie receivers and undrafted receivers, and I think that part is good, I think, at least. You're sort of in sync with these Kimbrel Tompkins. I think you have 2,000-yard rushers on the team, Blount and Ridley. Like, they should be able to get it together, and I think they have. The thing, Patriots, the way they're different from everyone else is it usually takes 2 months for teams like that to gel, but they figured it out.
And they have let's talk about the Week 5 slate. They have a really interesting game in Cincinnati, but the first one is our beloved Browns at home against the Bills on Thursday night. This should be really a masterpiece, a football masterpiece.
What an exciting – maybe it is a great game because on paper it wasn't supposed to be Buffalo or Cleveland, but I don't know. Maybe the Thursday night hex turns this around. What an exciting game, though, to be in Cleveland. I think they won't have a baseball playoff game that night, but it's a good week for them. What did you say for the line?
For the record, if the Red Sox weren't in the playoffs, I would be on a plane on Thursday morning to go to this game.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, think about this. This is the first sign of actual hope the Browns have had, and I can't even remember when, that one decent Derek Anderson year.
Yeah.
And to have a chance to go 3-2, it's not like anybody else in the AFC North is pulling away.
Yep.
Pittsburgh's a train wreck. Cincinnati scored 6 points yesterday. Baltimore, Flacco had 5 interceptions. They look terrible.
Yeah, everyone's against the NFC East, but the AFC North is right with them. I mean, if Cincinnati didn't beat Green Bay, sort of flukish way, that they have 4 wins on that as a division.
9-7 realistically could win this division. I mean, it'll probably be a 10-win team, but you could see a 9-7 team win the AFC North, and you could see a 7-9 team win the NFC East.
Probably.
I think you're going to get to 8 wins, and that's probably going to be enough. But I have the Browns favored by 4.5 at home against Buffalo.
All right, I get this. I said 4, and it's only 3.5 as of Monday morning.
I don't agree with that.
Should be higher.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Bills might be one of those teams that just plays well at home, and I don't know.
They got 5 turnovers in that game yesterday, and they barely won.
Yeah.
And they were home.
All right. 5 turnover, Joe Flacco at Miami.
Hold on. By the way, something weird happened at the end of that Buffalo game I want to mention quickly. So there was like 55 seconds
left. The Bills quarterback
left.
knelt down?
Yeah, instead of kneeling down, the guy runs backwards to try to kill time, and he's backpedaling. So one of the Ravens comes in and tackles him. Mm-hmm. And they called it unsportsmanlike conduct, roughing the thing. It's like, this guy's trying to kill time. This is a live football play.
Right. Sure.
He's not kneeling down. He's going backwards.
Yeah.
The Ravens wouldn't have won anyway, but there's been 3 or 4 plays this year where you could make a case that football is just turning into a pansy sport. That was one of them.
I agree. And I think just the fact that the Bills were kneeling down has just freaked everybody out. No one really
They're like, what?
Yeah. This means the end of the game. Baltimore at Miami. Kick off the Sunday slate.
I had a lot of trouble with this one. Yeah, especially because the Dolphins, we'll see tonight if,
right.
It'd be a nice little litmus test for them in New Orleans. Who do you like in that game, by the way?
Well, House and I were atop the Las Vegas Hilton contest. I think we're in second place, and we're 3-1 going into the week.
Amazing.
And we have New Orleans because that was his 2 picks. I got 3 picks this week. He got 2. I sort of like Miami to cover.
Yeah, New Orleans on a night game is nice.
Yeah.
I think you're okay with that. I have the Dolphins favored by 4.5 against the Ravens.
All right. I get this one, too. I said 3, and it's 3.5. This is also 3.5.
That's too low.
It is too low. That'll change, too. That's a bad matchup for the Ravens, I think. Unless it's a short week problem and all that, I think it's a bad matchup.
It's weird. I looked it up. They basically have the same offensive line they had last year, right? And, they can't block anymore. Maybe it just got old.
Yeah, I don't get it. Jacksonville at St. Louis.
Jacksonville is. I took them this week in my column because I couldn't come up with one reason to take them other than it was a possible trap game for the Colts.
That's exactly what I thought.
It just seemed like such a bad pick. I think the Jags are at the point where they can't be getting less than 7 points on the road against any team in the league. The Rams are atrocious. Sam Bradford probably shouldn't have a starting quarterback job. I cannot see how they're favored by less than 7. I'm going to say Rams by 7.
All right. I said 8.5, and it's 12.5.
Oh, my God.
And I'm taking Jacksonville again.
Me too. Let's ride it. Let's ride the Jags.
But why? Why would we? They're awful. They are. It shouldn't matter where they're playing.
Oh, God. Wow, I was off by 5 points.
Well, what if you're the Rams and you have 10 days off? Like, how much tape are you going to watch of the Jaguars? Like, all right, I think we've seen enough.
I don't think you need to watch any tape.
That's good.
Just show like 3 Blaine Gabbert incompletions, and I think you're good.
Oh, 12.5.
Wow, Sam Bradford, after one of the most astonishingly bad games anybody has had in a night game.
Yeah.
Just over and over again making terrible plays. and now he's favored by 12.5.
I mean, we should look because they got killed by the Cowboys, who are, not exactly lighting the world on fire now. And then they got killed last week. I mean, can't be too many teams that lost by double digits than a double-digit favorite the third week, right?
I really don't think the Rams are any – that line's too high. The Rams have been down by 20 points in their last 3 games.
Right.
They've been plus 20 or minus 20 at least in the last 3.
And a double-digit favorite. I'm going to look that up.
They are horrible. I'm taking the Jags.
Kansas City at Tennessee. This was going to be a much better game with Locker. Now he's out.
Yeah, what a shame. And Locker was playing great in that game.
Yep.
18 for 24 with 3 TDs.
Mm-hmm.
And gets hurt on a fluky play. I don't think those guys should be fined. It's football.
I agree.
But I have the Chiefs favored by 2.5.
You're going to get this. I said 2, and it's 3.5. It's a little bit high.
Yeah, that's the extra point for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Really good Chiefs defense against Ryan Fitzpatrick. I feel bad for the Titans fans because they had something going there.
Yeah, the Titans were every bit as good as the Chiefs at that, going with Jake Locker. But
we're in a situation right now in the AFC where, first of all, there's 3 4-0 teams in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 3-0 team, Miami. Tennessee and Indianapolis are both 3-1. Houston is 2-2. The team everybody just assumed Houston was going to be in there, and Cincinnati's only 2-2. San Diego's 2-2. But Tennessee was, really kind of looking good in that AFC South. I felt like.
Well, 13 AFC teams are 500 or better. 7 NFC teams are 500 or better. But
there's only 4 NFC teams with 3 or 4 wins.
Yeah, but I don't think we should get too excited about that. I have to defend the conference that my crap ball team resides in. I mean, who's the second best team in the AFC? The Patriots?
Yeah, we're not sure. The Chiefs might be good.
I guess.
We need to see them play somebody good.
If you just stack up the top 3, throw Denver out of there because if New Orleans and Green Bay will match up against anyone else in the AFC, I think, or New Orleans, whoever wins the NFC North.
So, yeah, the NFC does look deeper because you have the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, deeper in terms of the possibilities of somebody sneaking into the playoffs.
Right.
The Green Bay's 1-2, and they're a game out of the wild card. So it's
and
way
I know
too early
we do a lot of talking, and we're our job is to discuss the NFL ad nauseum. But a quarter of the way into the season now, I really think the only question is, will the Seahawks cover in their Super Bowl loss to Denver? Right? We're getting there.
Be a great matchup.
Are we close?
The one team I'll say might be a little sneaky is Carolina.
Yeah.
They're 1-2. In week 1, they go toe-to-toe with Seattle, right? Toe-to-toe. And D'Angelo Williams is running for the go-ahead touchdown and fumbles.
Right.
Week 2, they totally choke. In who are they playing? Tampa?
Yes, that was their week 2 game. Right.
Buffalo. They're at Buffalo.
Yeah.
4th and 1, they kick a field goal stupidly. They should just run the first. Yeah, they give a dumb touchdown, they lose.
Right.
Week 3, they destroy the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
They might not be bad.
They might not be. Well, we'll get to them in a second.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts on them. But Philly at the Giants.
Ooh.
I'm up 3-1 right now.
Oh boy, I have the Giants by 3.5. I don't feel good about it.
You're gonna get it. I said 2, and it's 3. I threw my hands up in the air with this one. How do you make a line for this?
I'll tell you one thing. The Giants and Steelers fundamentally have the same problem. When you can't block, it just starts there. If you have a sieve for an offensive line, there's really no coming back from it.
Right. And we talked about it last week that this isn't a problem that Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger. Well, Roethlisberger's sort of used to it. He's not used to the defense giving up 40 points. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one for those teams.
We did hit some of the preseason. Some of our opinions have been hitting.
What did we do? I'm afraid to look. What did we say?
Well, one of the things we took the under for the Steelers.
Yeah, that one that's a cash. We're cashing that easily.
So that was good.
That I don't even recognize that team.
Yeah, it happens. Every year there's one or two teams that it seems inconceivable they're going to go 3-13, but then by week 6, everybody's like, wow, they stink.
And Tomlin was really pissed, like scary pissed in the press conference. So I don't know what that means, but.
We saw this happen. You've seen this happen a couple times where it's happened with the Jets too, where you have these teams that kind of try to, I don't want to say cheat the salary cap, but you try to rig it so that you're taking advantage of this 3 or 4 year window that you have. But then it eventually comes back, you pay the piper. The Steelers are screwed for a couple years here with the cap.
I saw that.
It's not like something that flips over a year from now. This is a long-term thing that they're screwed by.
No, they have their Super Bowl.
Yeah, they do. They had a great run. They won. They won 2 Super Bowls, and they were in a third one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Nice
Seattle and Indy.
I have Seattle by 3.
All right, I have them by 3 also, and I think it's off. I think they should get Denver-esque consideration here. I said by 6, and it's exactly 3. So you even things up here, 3-3.
I will say this, that the offensive line thing's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
They had trouble blocking Houston the first 3 quarters. Houston got a little tired, and but you think about it, like they got a pick 6 touchdown. Their offense only scored 13 points in the game, and then in the overtime they were able to finally put together a drive. But I do think blocking is an issue. This is a winnable game for the Colts.
Well, but Bill, I'll just say this. In today's National Football League, I should say, where it's all about the Jims and Joes and not the X's and O's, if you play hard defense for 4 quarters, you're in any game. And I honestly, if you can come from behind against really good teams, that puts you in a different echelon, I think. We saw them do it against Washington in the playoffs in the first round.
Well, in week 1 in Carolina, they gutted that one out. They can gut out these games.
Houston's better than them, but Houston, they played as tough a brand of football in the first half as you'll see. Like J.J. Watt's nose looked like it was chewed off by a German Shepherd, and they still gutted it out and won that game. That was big. I
love Seattle. Every year we think we know who the Super Bowl matchup is after week 4.
Yeah.
But if it turns out to be Denver-Seattle, and these teams are both healthy the way they are now, and then you're looking at this juggernaut Denver offense against the Seattle secondary, that's a great Super Bowl.
We'll take it. In the New York snow, I would love that.
Well, that's the X factor with Denver, right?
Mm-hmm.
They put together this offensive juggernaut that, in the warm weather is going to look great, but we saw what happened to them in 20-degree weather last year.
Yeah. Can they defer until next year's Super Bowl and say, listen, we don't want to play in this game. It's too cold.
It'd be interesting.
New Orleans at Chicago.
Now, this is tough because I had the Bears by 3, but I don't feel good knowing, I want to see what happens with the Saints tonight.
Well, you're going to get this one because I was way off. I had New Orleans by 1, and it's the Bears by 1.5. I'm just not a believer in the Bears, and like we talked about their defense. Maybe not as stellar as everyone thinks.
Well, it's just like seems 3 times a year Cutler's going to just be awful in a game.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
Yeah.
So one out of every 4 or 5 games, he's just going to really stink. And then if their defense is bad, then they have no chance.
Yep. New England at Cincinnati. My Super Bowl prediction, Cincinnati. Oh, boy.
That's not great.
They're a mess. They should score more points with that personnel. I know the Browns are a gritty defense at home, but they should be in the 30s a lot of games.
I have the Pats by 2.5.
Oh. I said a pick 'em because I had trouble with this, and it's Cincy -1.
I bet that swings.
You love the Pats there.
No, I don't think the Bengals are that good.
I've
seen what I needed to see from them.
I know, but they figure out a way to win sometimes. Beat Green Bay at home.
I'm not saying the Pats are locked to win. I just think the Pats are 4-0, and they just won in Atlanta, and I don't think they care where they play. It's one of the few teams that I don't think it matters whether they're at the road or at home.
Yeah, it's true. Here's a good one. Detroit at Green Bay.
It's a great one. It's weird to say a must-win in Week 5, but
sure.
If Detroit goes to 4-1 and Green Bay goes to 1-4, and Green Bay squanders their home game against the Lions, they're 3 back and they've already lost the home game. Like they have no chance in that division unless Detroit starts getting injured.
Green Bay's 1-2. They had a bye, so they'd be 1-3 if they lost.
Oh, yeah, so they'd be 2.5 games back.
Yeah.
I had the Packers by 4.5.
All right, I had it by 5. Hefty 7. Vegas has that.
Don't agree with that.
I don't either.
The Lions can put up points. Yeah, they can score. And the other thing with that line is they have cheap touchdown potential.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Lions. I think the Lions are a complete team. Sue's been great this year.
The only thing that worries me is sometimes they do fall apart on the road. The Lions we know and love, but they're better than within a touchdown of Green Bay, I think.
Yeah, it does have the potential of the 17 penalty game.
Right.
And the Matt Stafford terrible interception in traffic, and I can see it.
All right, so that's the early slate. A lot of low numbers there. The only high ones are Jacksonville at St. Louis and Detroit at Green Bay. I wouldn't think. I
gotta say that might be the best group of early games we've had in a while.
You think so?
Yeah, Seahawks, Colts, Packers, Lions, Bengals, Pats, and Bears, Saints.
Chicago.
Those are 4 great ones.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I even like Dolphins, Ravens.
Yeah, there's a couple more coming up here. This one not as great on paper. Carolina at Arizona. I'm up 5-4 going into the late game.
I had the Cards by 2.5. I like Carolina.
All right, I had the Cards by 2, and it's Carolina by 2.5. So I get that.
See, Vegas,
that's just wrong, right?
Vegas is on this Panthers thing.
Well, I know, but they were about to fire their coach a minute ago, and they beat up on the poor Giants.
Listen, Ron Rivera looked in the mirror these last 2 weeks, much like Walter White did.
Uh-oh.
And he came up with a plan. Ron Rivera spent the last 2 weeks in a cabin eating soup.
Eating everything.
Just making plans. Yeah.
Arizona plays D. I like the Cards here, I think.
They do play D. The problem is they can't run the ball at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at all.
Yeah,
I have Andre Ellington on both of my fantasy teams. I feel like he's going to become a factor.
Yeah.
Because they can't play Mendenhall anymore. Mendenhall is just shot. Put a fork in him.
I was surprised they came back against an NFL team, Arizona. And they did it.
Well, I think it had more to do with the quarterback on the other team.
Yeah, those corners are good, though. San Diego at Oakland.
San Diego by 3. I like the Chargers again.
I can't believe I'm beating you this week. I said 4.5, and it's 6.
It seems a little high for Phil Rivers on the road.
I didn't get to see a lot of Matt Flynn. I saw the highlights.
Oh, you didn't miss much. He
was okay, or no?
He was worse than okay.
Really?
Yeah, he's not good at quarterback. He's not somebody you want playing for you as a starting quarterback.
Well, is there another position they could put him? I mean,
they could try him at H-back.
Okay. All right. Maybe they could.
I mean, Mike, he can't complete a pass. He just can't. He can't complete anything.
But, Rick Ankiel was not, a wild pitcher, and then he hits home runs.
He's really unimpressive. It's funny to me that he got a big contract, and Hoyer, who was sitting there, who really did look good in all the Pats preseason games. Not that that means anything, but I never watched a Pats preseason game and didn't think that Hoyer couldn't be a half-decent quarterback. I always liked him.
Right. All right.
He'll throw 7 picks this weekend now.
Denver at Dallas.
Yeah. I wanted to say Denver by 6, but I think they just bump the line high and try to sucker all the Denver money they can. Everyone's on this bandwagon. I have Denver by 7.5.
Oh, bastard. I said 7, and it's 8.
Yeah.
You get that.
It's 2 points too high. It should be
I don't
6,
know, man.
but they're going to get that money.
I don't know. I would respect Jason Garrett if we sat the starters this week. Did everyone just sit the starters against the Broncos? And that's how you get your second bye.
Are you throwing to Des Bryant enough?
We're not. He should be targeted more for an elite receiver. Like it seems like Calvin Johnson gets more thrown his way, and AJ Green and everybody.
And Julio. Atlanta has that play with Julio Jones where they just throw the ball 50 yards downfield and he jumps for it.
Well, we miss Miles Austin. When he's in there, we don't seem to miss him a lot. But when he's not in there, we miss him. And Witten is very slow. Very slow. And
you think this is it for Witten?
Oh, yeah. He so slow. I mean, he had drops, and he just was able to free himself even last year more than this year at all. So it's a little rough for them. But, yeah, definitely we and the Cowboys should be taking more chances downfield.
All right, what's next?
Sorry, getting emotional. Houston and San Francisco, that's a night game.
Another good game.
Yeah, this is a good one. It's a good week.
I had the Niners by 6.5.
Oh, man, this is where you come back. It is Niners by 7. I thought it would be 4.
Niners by 7.
10.5 days to prepare. Probably
Boy,
good.
that's... Talk me out of a tease with the Niners involved.
Well, boy, what else is there, though? I was just going to say, the day of the teaser might be maybe long gone. Everything's a 3-point spread. Denver, San Fran? Is that what you want to do?
I'm very happy with Denver, San Fran.
Yeah,
if the Cowboys are going to beat Dallas or Denver, then I'm happy to lose money on that.
Yeah. And then Monday, Jets at Atlanta. Actually, you have 6, I have 7, and I hit this one exactly, so another one for me.
Yeah, but I might hit it double exactly.
All right, go ahead. Hit it double.
Falcons by 7.5.
No, you should have said 8.5.
Okay. Falcons by 8.5.
There you go. That's also not a bad teaser game.
So, bye week this week.
Oh, that's why all these games are good. Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, and Washington are
It's really great. Can this be the bye week every week?
And then you get rid of Buffalo and Cleveland, who are sort of exciting in their own way, but, you're not going to really want to tune in.
Not having Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Tampa, and Washington is a real advantage.
Yeah. Send all 4 of those teams to London, and they should just round robin each other the rest of the year.
God, that Minnesota-Pittsburgh game was terrible.
Yeah.
It was like watching one of those weird college games that's on like ESPNU or something.
Right.
You're like, there's a guy who's running for 78 yards.
Yeah.
It was just like not a real football game.
It was a Gus Johnson special, but.
Man. So, one more thing I want to talk about. Super Bowl odds.
Oh.
Cowboys have dropped to, the Broncos have dropped to 2-1.
Oh, man.
A lot of Broncos action. I keep calling them the Cowboys.
Keep saying Cowboys. I know.
I feel bad for you. Every year you think it's here. Hold on, I'm getting them right now.
2-1. I mean, they're going to. All right, so they would be a 7-point favorite if they made it there, right?
I'm sorry. Sportsbook has them at plus 250.
All right.
So there you go. Seahawks plus 450.
Yeah.
Nobody else is less than 10-1.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
Pats are 10-1. Saints 12-1. Niners 12-1. Atlanta's 50-1. That seems too high.
Wow.
Chicago 20-1. The Lions are 40-1. Also seems too high. Packers 15-1. Indy 35-1. The Cleveland Browns 125-1.
Wow. They're not done trading.
Listen, in the history of the NFL, the two teams that looked like the Super Bowl matchup after Week 4 has never actually been the Super Bowl matchup. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen.
I agree.
So we got to
with you.
figure out which of these long shots is the team that sneaks in.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Saints at 12-1 is not bad, right? They get a home game.
Well, listen, if they beat the shit out of Miami tonight, then that drops to at least 10-1 or 9-1.
Jesus, Bill, with your foul language. No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
right. Yeah, 12. Yeah.
I think
you're
the
right.
best bet on the board right now is the Lions. 40-1 for the Lions.
Yeah, they do start playing defense.
What if they get a 2 seed?
Mm.
They get a 2 seed.
All right, so NFC East is a 4 seed no matter what.
So they'd have to beat Atlanta or New Orleans for a 2 seed. You get a bye week, then they're home for round 2. Then all of a sudden they just have to go to Seattle in the Dome. Oh, I don't like that chance.
Yeah.
Maybe San Francisco is the best bet, 12-1.
Yeah, they'll
get all their
way
dudes back.
They would have to do it on the road though, but they could do it.
Yeah, but I don't really trust them.
But I mean, Denver's going to win the Super Bowl. So what are we even doing here?
I disagree.
Wow.
That warm weather juggernaut. We'll see what happens when it's 17 degrees in Jersey.
Bill, they can't get to third down, Bill. They've never seen third down, the Broncos offense.
Hey, Doug,
Am I the only one who remembers that Peyton Manning could not complete a pass in 17-degree weather last January?
Mike, you are right. You do have a great memory. It's all the Diet Coke you drink. I don't know what kind of chemicals, but they really kick your mind into gear. You have a great memory. You're right. I'm wrong. 10 before the hour.
Hey, Peyton. Good luck scoring 48 points a game when you're playing in 15-degree weather in Jersey. I want to see that. I want to see that.
Mike, he better bring a parka and gloves, if you know what I'm saying. Here's Minko with the weather.
He better bring his masseuse dog.
All right, Breaking Bad time.
All right. Well, let me
hold on. I want to do MVP quickly.
Oh, good.
This is great.
Well, this is the same thing.
Oh, no, this is a little different. Oh, the lines aren't available.
Peyton
Manning's got to be like minus 300 for MVP at this point, right?
Yeah. I think he clinches it in probably 2.5 more games.
Hold on, one more. Super Bowl matchups.
What is Broncos Seahawks?
Broncos Seahawks is plus 350.
Oh, that's it?
It's looking tasty.
That's plus 350? The Broncos themselves are 5-2. How is that only plus 350?
I'm just telling you what the odds are.
All right.
The Lions Broncos is 30-1.
Oh, wow.
That's weird. The Lions are 40-1 to win the Super Bowl, but 30-1 to play the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm going to say you should just take the 40-1 odds.
Exactly. Well, to win.
I think the sportsbook guy who does these odds was drunk last night after Breaking Bad.
He might have been. He might have been all messed up. Well, maybe we just take the NFC to win the NFC, because I don't feel good playing against Peyton Manning.
Oh, that was one more I was going to give you. The early Super Bowl line.
Right. 7?
NFC by 1.
What?
Yeah.
What is anyone watching this year? Right, that's what we need to jump up.
Nobody is sold on Peyton Manning in cold weather.
Mike, I don't understand gambling too much, but if you give 1, that means the team needs to win by 1. Am I right?
You are correct.
Thank you.
Wow. All right.
All right. Let me just.
Do you want your NFC East odds quickly?
Oh yeah, go ahead. But it's still on the board.
You're minus 120 to win the NFC East.
That is a lock.
That's actually a good bet. Minus 120. How are you not going to win the NFC East? The Giants, Eagles, and Redskins are going to beat the Cowboys?
We'll go 6-10.
You already have a game lead.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh, we should step in on that, Sal.
What happened to this division? It was the class of the league for 30 years.
Well, you flop places with the NFC West.
Yeah.
All right, do your plugs quick.
Let me do the plug, yeah. Jimmy Kimmel Live, Danny DeVito tonight, Winston McClendon Covey, and the Lumineers. And then later in the week, Will Arnett, Bonnie Raitt, Tim Allen, Kenny Rogers, and John Mayer. Wow, what a lineup. My Grantland blog, I had Glenn in under passing yards. That wins. Browns first half over Bengals. That wins. My teaser hit by 0.5 point. Plenty more Your Majesties to be won Friday afternoon.
And we should mention your cousin feuded with one of the 5 most famous celebrities in the world over the week.
Yeah, that was very strange. And I swear on Uncle Frank's grave that it is legit. And I don't know what's with this Kanye West. I'm just watching my back every time I go out.
Well, we were talking about it during the Grantland live stream. I do think a big part of this is that I think Kanye was hurt because he thought he and Jimmy were friends. Doesn't that seem like that's 90% of this?
Did he? I don't know. He didn't mention that. He did mention that he was at that wedding, our friend Daniel's wedding. But he mistakenly said that was our family. But
well, Daniel's kind of family. He's like
he's a little bit of a loose cannon. Not Daniel's Kanye.
Daniel and Kanye.
I don't know. Who got the better deal there, Chloe or Kim?
It's been great for your cousin. It's great. It's great PR. You won the night on Thursday night? Yeah,
we did all right.
I would urge him to keep it going.
Listen, whenever he wants to have a tantrum, keep the guns at home. But this Twitter stuff is fun. I mean, it's the biggest thing we do on the internet. We didn't even do anything.
Haven't you done the thing where little kids reenact stuff before? You've done that before, right?
Yeah, we have. We have done something like that.
Because people were like, "Oh, this is for like that's been a sketch before." Okay, let's talk.
How it gets to them, I know.
Let's talk Breaking Bad.
All right, let's do it. Shut this off if you haven't seen it, and shame on you if you're not caught up by now. But
yeah, that's true. Well, there's some, you have college kids, you got people overseas, people in the military.
Let me just say, I saw it Friday. Jimmy was allowed to take a couple people to screen it because he did Talking Bad afterwards. And
Lewis told me about this. I'm very upset that nobody told me.
I didn't want to say
the show
anything until now. I
that really hurt.
But I left that place. When they take like a local anesthetic and they're like, yeah, someone should drive you home. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
I was sick that it was over, but I was so impressed and happy. I thought it was a blowout of a finale. It was like the Cowboys beat the Broncos 40-0, and Tony Romo returned 3 interceptions for a touchdown. Like, it had everything, I thought. Am I overstating it? What did you think?
I really liked it last night.
Uh-oh.
I started talking myself out of it a tiny bit as the live stream kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read Seppenwall when I got home. And I agree, it was a little too tidy. Everything was a little too perfect, how everything just broke Walter's way in the finale. And then I read Emily Nussbaum's piece, which was fantastic, which insinuated that Walt might have just died in the car and dreamed everything else that happened after.
No.
So now it's like my head's just spinning.
Don't start with that nonsense. He did a great job tying everything up, and now...
He could have died in the car, though.
Whoever wrote that should die in the car. Are you kidding me? No, but honestly, you make fun of me for my how outraged I am at the Sopranos finale, and most have accepted it as many think it's genius, but what the f***? I mean, this is the way to do it, right? I mean, not that should have ended in a shootout, the Sopranos, but
yeah,
I liked it. There were 4 loose ends to tie up, and they did it. Yeah, maybe it did work a little perfectly, but that's sort of how he does it. I mean, what was your biggest problem, that they didn't check the trunk?
Yeah, that was a major problem. Knowing that parking the car in a way where the gun was going to be able to shoot right at everybody in the house dying except for the one guy who needed to get strangled by Jesse.
I got you. Yeah,
that was a problem. Him just kind of gallivanting around his old hometown and nobody ever seeing him and just going to his old haunts, never getting caught. They know he's on the loose. Big manhunt.
It was a little convenient.
He's like, I'm gonna go see Walt Jr. get off the school bus. Nobody's gonna notice me.
I don't know.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I'm starting to. But
really?
I think this is just what we do.
I know.
Yeah, it's just everything was too perfect.
I loved it. I don't know why I loved it. I just didn't want it to end, and I loved it. I think.
Well, there were some great moments, right? Like the scene with Skyler with the pillar in the middle of them was great.
Well, however he got to the scene, every scene was intense and just draining emotionally, and all 4 or 5 of them were really great. So what were we saying, Skyler? I mean, she's smoking. She looks like she could jump right into Mad Men the way she's smoking.
It was great. Great smoking.
Yeah.
The shootout, the actual shootout scene was just great.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the ending. I don't feel like they did a really good job with Jesse this year as a character. Would be my one major nitpick for
they marginalized him a little. You think?
Yeah, and that's like, I don't know what happens to him now. He gets out, but he's ruined for life.
You know what they didn't mention? Jesse Pinkman. That's a Jewish name, and that makes this Nazi thing so much more, so much crazier, doesn't it?
Didn't make that connection.
Yeah. But how lucky does he get with the now? I mean, not lucky. Maybe Felina was the name of the final episode.
Yep.
Now, in that song El Paso, when he goes in the car and he turns it on, Felina, he longs for his love and he goes back and he takes a bullet. So that's the ending of the song Felina or El Paso. Felina also scrambled his finale. Felina also 3 elements: iron, lithium, and sodium, which is supposed to be blood, sweat, and meth.
Yeah.
My God.
And then also, if you scramble Queen Latifah's name,
I
think Felina you can get Felina out of that
you definitely
too.
get it that way.
So I don't know if anyone made that connection yet.
I like that the Nazis, for $70 million, all they got was a vibrating recliner. But, all right, we can't spend this money. Oh, please, let's just get this recliner. Come on, we could do that, right?
It's on sale at Brookstone.
Yeah, we can grab that. No one will know.
That was the tough one for me because I was hoping the Nazis were going to be spun off. Now there's nobody to be spun off. Now we're stuck with Saul.
They were spun off, all right.
Unless we do a prequel with the Nazis.
Well, I think it is a prequel to Saul thing.
But, I mean, I'm saying they could do a Nazis prequel with Uncle Jack.
I like it.
Uncle Jack snapping and doing whatever Uncle Jack does.
I had $3,000 on over 1.5 uttered by Jesse in the finale, so that was the only disappointment.
Did that one win?
No, it lost. He didn't have any. I mean, he could have yelled it in the car. Seemed happy.
Yeah.
I like that. But everyone says, like, well, he's going to in the Talking Bad. They're like, he's going. There's only one place he's going, and that's to save Brock. Like, all right, well, how's he going to do that? He's going to take him from Child Protective Services. Like, hey, aren't you the guy that was mixed up in that mess over there? All right, you could have him. Go to Alaska. Go ahead, take him. Yeah,
what happens to Jesse?
I guess he goes to Alaska. That's where he was going to go anyway, right? I mean, his identity is sort of screwed when he blew off that ride.
Well, what do we do now? What do we do now on Sunday nights?
I don't know.
Homeland?
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
It's just okay, I think.
Oh, it was like such a dramatic step backwards.
Yeah.
From Breaking Bad, like whether you liked it, loved it, really liked it, whatever. It's like such a more thoughtful show. Homeland's like, hey, here's some stuff happening. And
I was more impressed by Eastbound and Down. So.
Oh, that was the one I didn't watch last night. So that one came back?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah?
Check it out. You'll like it.
Yeah, I'm worried about Homeland. It's last night's episode. I said this last night during the live stream. Mm-hmm. I either want Homeland to be really good again or really, really horribly bad so Brad can do rants about Homeland every 2 weeks on the Grantland channel.
You've done a nice thing. You've done a nice thing corralling Brad, who gives his thoughts on various shows that people love or whatever. And I forwarded the Breaking Brad, his account of Homeland Season 2, to a lot of friends who love Homeland, and they're like, oh, my God, I can never watch that again the same way again. He's right.
It's really Brad's destiny, right? He finally found his destiny.
Yeah, and he looks dazzling, too. He really does.
Well, his beard looks great. Can you get Brad, get a feel for him for how he felt about the Breaking Bad finale?
Okay.
Because if he had any problems with it, we'd be happy to videotape it.
I think he liked it. He typed me an email. The space bar wasn't working, so it was a big mess. But I'm going to have to go back and look and see if he liked it.
Well, so long. So long, Breaking Bad. Any baseball picks for you, by the way?
I think Cleveland. I know you don't want to hear this, but God, that team hasn't lost in like 3 weeks. I think they get to the World Series against the Braves.
Interesting.
What do you think?
The Matt Kemp injury was pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's done.
I know they were winning without him, but I always just assumed everybody out here assumed he was going to be back, and all of a sudden, no way now.
He definitely helps that team. I'm trying to make it equate it to football, where like the Denvers of the world aren't going to have to play hard the last 2 weeks. But God, it really seems in baseball some of these teams haven't had to win a big game in all of September, doesn't it?
What's interesting to me is the Rangers right now. You can bet Dodgers versus Rangers World Series for 30-1.
Wow.
Just that they'll play in the World Series. And you need to win today. You need to then win tomorrow. Mm. Then you need them to win, the Rangers to win 2 straight playoff series. So it's not an easy road, but the Rangers are scary.
Yeah. And Cruz is on the roster, might not play today, but
who isn't?
Nelson Cruz.
Oh, can he come back?
Yeah. They don't know if they're playing him today, but he can come back.
That to me is the team that it's just when the Red Sox going against them just frightens me. But I have a feeling this is the only prediction I'm going to make. I have a feeling the Red Sox and Tigers are going to meet, just because the fact that we gave them Jose Iglesias just has to come back to frighten us in some way during the month of October.
Well,
right?
you'll meet if Tampa doesn't make it, right? Is that how you'll meet?
I got to be honest. I can't keep track of all the scenarios. I'm not smart enough. Like 10 years ago, I would have been in it, but now it's like, just tell me how it plays out. Just tell me what happens after today's game.
Yeah, 7-1 game playoffs. I'll try it.
We have in the League of Dorks, we had a chance to finish third place, which is second minor league draft pick and more money for next year's draft. Mm-hmm. I own the team with Hench.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe this, but he had a lot of thoughts over the weekend about everything. And the guys who were going for first place, it's basically come down to, if Beltre, Longoria, Desmond Jennings, or one other guy hits a home run today, my friend Mike loses the title. And it's like a 40% chance or 51% chance or whatever that one of those.
Oh, Hench figured it out to the 100th place. I'm sure.
Hench has been, because it's the live standings. He's just emailing as it's going along, going bonkers about it. But fantasy baseball, it's intense.
That's fun.
Anyway, all right. Well, let's figure out a bet offline.
All right, give me a ring during the week.
Good job by you.
Good job by you, Billy.
40% off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.
Gotta say, Golick, great call on grabbing Subway for lunch and getting guacamole on our subs.
Told you this new guac really amps up the flavor.
Yep, something adding up things can be great. Guacamole on your sub, a new co-host to replace you.
What was that?
Oh, no, nothing.
Subway now has deliciously rich new guacamole made from ripe Hass avocados with just a hint of garlic, onion, and jalapeno. Discover how new guacamole turns up the flavor on any of your freshly made favorites. Subway, eat fresh.